This evening, miners remanded for murders in Bartica. Stay tuned for the latest updates on this ongoing investigation. Next, Vice President Jack Leo outlines plans to tackle Guyana's power crisis. Details on the government's strategies ahead. Then, Guyana Revenue Authority seizes contraband in Annandale operation. Learn more about the efforts to curb smuggling in the country. Also, accused murderer Sean Thomas remanded to prison in Bartica. Get the latest on this court case unfolding in Region 7. And later, a devastating heatwave in Mali claims over 100 lives. Stay tuned for the details on this extreme weather event in West Africa and more. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for April 12, 2024. I'm Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, 32-year-old Travis Fedick and 28-year-old Fernando Fedick, both minors from Tushin Housing Scheme, were remanded to prison in relation to the murders of Zahir Mohammed Sharif and Donovan Washington when they appeared at the Bartica Magistrate Court on Thursday, April 11th. The duo appeared before Magistrate Tariq Mohammed, each charged with the offense of being an accessory after the fact to murder. They were not required to plea and were both remanded to prison. The victim, 50-year-old Sharif, a gold miner, and 26-year-old Washington, a porter, were reportedly killed on March 3, 2024 at Arimu, Bakdam, Cayuni River. Reports from law enforcement indicated that the victims left with 102 ounces of raw gold valued at approximately $37 million. However, they were ambushed and fatally shot, and the gold was stolen. The businessman's general manager, Joel Stevens, recounted hearing several loud explosions suspected to be gunshots shortly before recovering his boss and Washington's dead body with visible gunshot wounds. Additionally, Mohammed's 2 licensed firearms were stolen from the scene. Investigators revealed that the businessman and his worker were attacked by 2 masked men riding a red ATV. The matters were adjourned to April 25, 2024 for disclosure. The customs law enforcement officers from GRA conducted a successful operation on the east coast of Demerara. Dale Jarvis has more details.
Customs law enforcement officers of the Guyana Revenue Authority, in an operation on Wednesday in the environs of Annandale, East Coast Demerara, seized 2 minibuses and a large wooden motor vessel laden with quantities of spirituous liquor, Heineken beers, and Rockingham chicken. 4 persons were arrested and are currently assisting with investigations. In a press release, GRA said it continues to carry out operations in its continuous efforts to curb smuggling and other such illegal activities, thereby allowing for a level playing field for legitimate businesses and the collection of associated revenue. Guyana Revenue Authority also wishes to remind the public that smuggling is illegal. Anyone who attempts to import or export goods intended to defraud the Revenue Authority of any duties is guilty of an offence and liable for such offence to fines and imprisonment. The Revenue Authority pleads with the general public to report any illicit, unlawful, or smuggling activities to the numbers on the screen. All information provided will be dealt with strict confidentiality, and such persons may be rewarded. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jarvis.
Thanks, Dale. As consistent blackouts continue to affect citizens, Vice President Dr. Jack Leo reiterated the government's commitment to addressing Guyana's power supply issues. Focusing on maximizing current power generation capacity, Dr. Jack Leo highlighted efforts to resolve the ongoing crisis swiftly. During his weekly press conference at Freedom House yesterday, he detailed plans to bring additional power sources online, including the imminent arrival of an emergency power supply via contract agreements. Acknowledging the disruptive impact of recurrent power outages, Dr. Jack Leo emphasized the need for immediate action, including purchasing additional electricity and investing in renewable energy projects like solar farms in various regions. The Vice President outlined ongoing initiatives such as solar home system projects, which aims to provide clean energy to Amerindian communities. Additionally, significant developments are anticipated with the Gast Energy project and the resuscitation of the Amila Falls hydropower project. Stick around when we return. Vice President Jack Leo, Gast Energy project deadline unchanged, and double murder suspects charged as accessories after the fact.
This Mother's Day, celebrate in style and give mom the chance to win big. Simply top up with $1,000 or more for a chance to be one of 5 lucky winners of a brand new, fully stocked French door fridge with groceries worth over $550,000 each. One winner will be selected weekly from April 5th to May 9th. Start topping up today. Digicel, the network for everyone, everywhere.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
See clearly with the gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Our smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Welcome back. Vice President Dr. Barry Jagdeo recently reaffirmed that the final deadline for Ghana's transformative Gast Energy project remains the same, emphasizing that it will be completed by the end of 2025. This initiative, touted as the country's most sustainable investment to date, aims to deliver 300 megawatts of cleaner power at a 50% reduced cost. Dr. Jagdeo outlined the project's 5 integral components: pipeline laying, power plant construction, transmission line installation, control center establishment, and distribution system upgrades. Despite earlier reports suggesting a 6-month delay, Dr. Jagdeo clarified that the actual setback was only 3 months. However, he assured that this delay will not hinder the project's completion by the end of 2025. The Gast Energy project is poised to significantly strengthen Ghana's economic growth while providing a sustainable energy source. Progress is already evident with the commencement of the control center setup and the initiation of numerous small projects aimed at enhancing the distribution electricity system, all overseen by the Ghana Power and Light Incorporated. In other news, Sean Thomas, also known as Troy Richards, Mark Baxter, and Cutty, a resident of Pearl Village, East Bank, Demerara, found himself behind bars today after appearing in court to face a murder charge. The accused appeared before Magistrate Tariq Mohammed at the Bartica Magistrates Court, where he was remanded to prison after not entering a plea. The court learned that Thomas is accused of murder of 22-year-old Raina Ryan, a fellow minor from Spring Gardens, Essequibo Coast. The incident occurred on September 29, 2022 at Sandhill Back Dam, Cayuni River, Region 7. With the case now adjourned until May 3, 2024, Thomas awaits further legal proceedings as the justice system works to bring clarity to the circumstances surrounding Ryan's tragic death. Moving on. Police investigators are currently probing the suspected murder of a woman in Curtin, Berbice. The victim, identified as 52-year-old Ninawati Nandalal, called Sharda of number 54 village, was found dead in the backlands after being reportedly missing briefly. The woman was allegedly murdered sometime between 12:30 hours on April 11 and 7:40 hours on April 12 at the number 54 Backdam Quarantine Burmese. Her son discovered her lifeless body. 3 individuals are in police custody in connection with the case. Headline News will bring further details in a subsequent report as they become available. Don't go away after the break. New Zealand tightened visa rules. Government says migration levels are unsustainable. And the government of Antigua and Barbuda permanently implements judge-alone trials.
This Mother's Day, celebrate in style and give Mom the chance to win big. Simply top up with $1,000 or more for a chance to be one of 5 lucky winners of a brand new, fully stocked French door fridge with groceries worth over $550,000 each. One winner will be selected weekly from April 5th to May 9th. Start topping up today. Digicel, the network for everyone, everywhere.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Current smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. In a significant legal development, the government of Antigua and Barbuda has announced its decision to institutionalize judge-alone trials within the nation's legal framework. This decision was revealed in the latest cabinet notes issued on Thursday, citing a recommendation from the Chief Justice. The move follows the successful implementation of judge-alone trials during the COVID-19 pandemic, aimed at alleviating the backlogs of indictable cases. Antigua and Barbuda becomes the first in the OECS jurisdiction to adopt this measure, aligning with other countries such as Jamaica and Cayman Islands and Trinidad and Tobago. Notably, nations like Australia, Canada, and the United States also have judge-alone trials legislated, signaling a global trend towards this judicial practice. Internationally, New Zealand's government is reducing the number of migrant workers it accepts. The new visa restrictions are a way to get more locals into employment and ease inflation. Al Jazeera's Wayne He reports.
For many years, businesses of all sizes have relied on workers from outside New Zealand to survive. Now the government says there are too many foreign workers here and it wants New Zealanders to fill low-skilled jobs.
I'm not sure with the locals because, to be honest, a lot of Kiwis doesn't prefer to work on a hospitality and they prefer office work like 9 to 5.
Labour shortages caused by the COVID-19 pandemic all but disappeared last year when 173,000 people migrated to New Zealand to fill job vacancies. Now, with the economy in recession, the government has reduced low-skilled work visas from 5 to 3 years, meaning many migrants face an uncertain future.
We invited many migrants to come over here during COVID time. They assisted and helped our society here to build the economy. And then suddenly, because we are no longer needing them, we are just simply kicking them out of the country.
There are also higher English language requirements, which the government believes will help prevent workers being exposed to abuse by employers. The Immigration Minister didn't respond to Al Jazeera's request for an interview. But New Zealand isn't alone in seeing a need to reduce migrant numbers. In Australia, if forecasts remain on target, almost 1 million people will have arrived in the past 2 years. After changes to Australia's visa rules, student visas are now more difficult to get. Some worry what the long-term implications might be if the new rules stay in place too long.
You could do damage in the meantime to the regular approach of bringing students in. They graduate in Australia and we get about 50% of our new permanent skilled migrants from students who study in Australia.
Skilled or low-skilled, migrants have been vital to the economy. Once the lean times are over, those students and workers are likely to be in demand again. But next time, they may be more wary. Wayne Hay, Al Jazeera, Auckland.
Rebel groups in Myanmar says they have taken the town of Myanmar on the border of Thailand. This is the latest setback for the military junta, which has lost control of dozens of towns since October. Al Jazeera's Tony Cheng reports.
Thai army vehicles appear outside the border crossing into Myanmar early on Thursday morning. Reports from across the river that the town of Myanmar had fallen.
We have seen the reality on the ground that these couple of days, the fighting continues still now as we speak now. The fighting still continue, and even though the Myanmar is not broken 100%, but I can say now as my witness here, more than 90% already broken.
On the other side of the bridge, soldiers from Myanmar's Battalion 275, 200 had requested safe passage into Thailand. Military fatigue swapped for civilian clothes. Waiting on the banks of the Moi River, Thai soldiers watched and waited. Planes in the air, the sound of airstrikes in the distance. The Thai military are still on high alert. They believe Myanmar has already fallen, but the remaining Myanmar junta soldiers are right here across the border, and if there is any more fighting, this is where it'll happen. On the other bridge in the centre of the Thai town of Mae Sot, hundreds of refugees poured across the border from Myanmar. Now that ground forces have left, they fear bombardment from the air.
Since they were fighting, there were fighter jets bombing the area. They might have dropped into civilian areas accidentally. People might die. That's what worried me and made me flee. I don't dare to stay.
There was fighting at Battalion 275 and fighter jets bombed at Wales yesterday. I was scared with this kid and my sister told me to flee to this side.
Inside Myanmar, streets deserted and shops shuttered. Pickup trucks with armed men patrol the streets. No insignia on their uniforms, but they say they'll vacate the border when the Karen army and their allies arrive. With the Myanmar military pushed out from this region, it's not clear who's in control. Tony Cheng, Al Jazeera, on the Thai-Myanmar border.
Finally, more than 100 people have died during a record-breaking heatwave in Mali in West Africa. Temperatures in one town reached 48.5 degrees. Meteorologist says that's the hottest ever recorded on the continent. Al Jazeera's Barnaby Smith reports.
There's not much access to electricity in Mali, so using fans or air conditioners to get relief from extreme heat is nearly impossible. That means heat stroke can kill.
If someone comes with a fever at 42 degrees, then to break it, you have to put ice on them or put them under air conditioning or circulate the air. You've got to do this within 40 minutes, otherwise people will get lesions on their vital organs. When that happens, even if the fever is beaten, the organ damage can result in death. We've been receiving patients in these conditions, and it's too late to do anything for them.
At least 100 people have died in the capital Bamako. The figure could be much higher elsewhere in Mali. Meteorologists measured a temperature of 48.5 degrees Celsius in one town on April the 4th. That's the highest ever recorded on the African continent.
Our parent died a week ago because of the heat, and when we came here to pray, the cemetery guard told us there were 15 to 20 burials a day of people who died from the heat.
The heat wave is being blamed on the El Niño weather pattern and man-made climate change. According to the World Meteorological Organization, temperatures in most land areas worldwide will be above normal until at least May, when El Niño will start to weaken. Bernard Smith, Al Jazeera.
This brings us to the end of the regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3rd event forecast. And that's it, TV2 Headline News for this Friday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. We will be off for the weekend, but you can tune in on Monday at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other, and do have a wonderful weekend.